Welcome, and thank you for joining me for this yoga practice in Pisces season. So, Pisces is a water energy, and fittingly enough, I've chosen to record on a rainy day, so we have the water energy present here in this recording. The sign of Pisces brings the energy of this dreamer quality. So it is an idealist, a dreamer. It likes to believe, and I invite you to take that into your practice in whatever capacity you think will benefit you the most. Pisces also rules the feet and the lymph nodes, the lymphatic system in the body. And we're going to open our practice with just a little extra attention and care to these parts of the body. So if you'll join me here on your mat, sitting in an upright, comfortable position, or you can lean against a wall, whatever feels good for you. We're going to come into a cross-legged position if that's comfortable, or find one way to just bring one of your feet up here so you can start off with a little bit of foot massage, self-foot massage here. Bring the thumbs into the arch of the foot and just give a little releasing pressure to the arch, maybe into the ball of the foot. If you find an area that feels a little bit sore or sensitive, maybe explore and see if you can help alleviate that a little bit. And I also invite you to bring your fingers up to the ball of the foot and kind of start to spread the toes a little. Maybe a gentle tugging of the toes if that feels good. And then we're going to bring our fingers to in between each of the toes. If you're unable to get them all in at once, then just go ahead and work in one or two and see how far you can get. And if you're able to, bring a little circular motion here to the foot. We're kind of rolling the wrist and letting the foot, the ankle, get a little bit of movement from side to side. I invite you to think about like the infinity symbol here, and sort of moving in this figure 8 pattern with the wrist. And at this time, I invite you to bring a little fluidity into your movement. We will be carrying a sort of fluid movement throughout the rest of practice. So if you want to start embodying that now with a little rocking sensation here, and just thinking about the slow, fluid movement of the joints. And then we're going to release that, and we're going to switch to the other side. So go ahead and bring the other foot up into reach. Start off with a little massage of the arch of the foot, getting into any areas on the bottom that feel good. And then just exploring that a little bit. And if you're someone who's really opposed to this foot intimacy here, I encourage you to just give it a try, and maybe you'll be surprised. And if that's not your jam, then that's fine too. So start to work your fingers up towards the ball of the foot, and we can start spreading the toes a little here, maybe gently tugging on them. And then eventually we'll work those fingers in between the toes, find whatever space you can here. Maybe with practice, you'll be able to do a little more. And again, we're going to just sort of bring a fluid movement here to the ankle joints, getting the ball of the foot kind of rolling in all directions, experimenting with how that feels to go out and in. It's getting very sensual in here. All right, once you've had a few moments there, we're going to release the foot, coming back into our upright seated position. And we're going to stimulate the lymph nodes here a little bit, just a gentle pressure. We're going to bring hands into the armpits, and we're going to just give a little squeeze of the thumb into the area where your arm connects to your shoulder and to the pectoral, and some of the fingers under the arms. And just give a little squeeze. You've got some lymph nodes there, and we're just going to start kind of moving that fluid through the body and sort of getting into that fluid motion that I was talking about earlier. All right, from here we're going to come right onto our back, and we're going to take this movement nice and easy, just lowering yourself back, whatever feels good. And we're going to bend the knees, get those feet flat on the floor. Feel your back, your spine flat to the mat here. And if you feel like any pressure in the low back, you can press your spine down, engaging your core a little, and see if that helps. You'll have a gentle lifting of the pelvis when you do this. And I want you to also feel your foot, the full contact of your foot engaging into the mat. We're going to wake up the feet here and the glutes a little bit. And I invite you to bring your hands, one to the heart and one to the belly, the abdomen. Relax your neck and shoulders here. Let any tension out of them. Take a deep breath and feel your abdomen lifting. Feel the hands that you've placed on your abdomen rising, and get your air all the way into the depths of your lungs. And then the chest can rise once that is full. Good. Exhale here, let one fall. Stomach release, and then the chest. And we're going to bring that breath with a little movement here. So we're going to inhale, feel the abdomen rise. And I want you to just push gently with your feet away from your glutes. So you're going to feel your pelvis tilting a little bit up as you do this. We're not getting a big action. This is just a little pushing of the feet, as if you're trying to push your mat away from you or slide yourself across the floor. Taking a nice deep breath. And then we're going to exhale, letting everything relax. And then we're going to energetically pull the heels in towards the body. Again, we're not moving the feet, and the glutes are just rocking here. We're rocking the hips. We're creating tension through the foot, contact with the foundation of the earth below us. And inhale, push the feet away from you. Feel a little pressure in the low back. Feel the pelvis tilting. Inhale. Exhale, pull the heels in here. You're going to feel your thighs turning on. The back may arch a little as the pelvis tilts down. And move like this on your own now that you've got the rhythm of it. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we're going to bring some arm movement here. We're going to inhale now, continuing with the action of the legs here. Inhale to lift the arms all the way up and overhead. Big reach. Big opening of the abdomen. Exhale, you're going to push the arms slowly as if you're moving through a liquid here. Push the hands down to the earth by the hips. Feel the low back gently arch, pulling the heels towards the glutes, towards the body. Good. Go ahead and continue with this new movement.
bringing a fluid energy and a fluidity to your movements here today. Now this time when you lift your arms up overhead, I want you to go ahead and pull the knees into chest here. And then we're going to exhale and we're going to squeeze the knees and come into a little ball position. Exhaling and squeezing until you've exhaled and emptied it all. And then this time we're going to inhale, legs go up to the sky, waterfall with the arms reaching up overhead again. Getting in a little full body motion here. We're going to exhale again, curl it into a ball. We're going to squeeze the abdomen in. We're going to use the core muscles here to lift and engage. Pull the knees in and squeeze. And again, waterfall, send the legs high, reach the arms up. Big breath. Exhale again, squeeze it in. And then one final waterfall here. Big breath. You can exhale, and if it feels good, just let the knees or the feet fall to the earth. And you can give a gentle little stomp. All right, bring the left knee only in this time. We're going to keep the right knee bent here, foot goes flat. And if you need a little support, you can grip the thigh or you can just have your hand on the knee. And we're going to do some hip opening circles here, seeing how mobile your hip is. Your circle might be really small, that's fine. Just imagine that your knee is drawing the circle in the air. And if you get a little hip snapping or clicking here, see if you can engage your core, see if you can flatten your back to the earth, and see if that helps you at all. All right, and we're gonna go the other way once we've done a few circles in one direction. We're gonna switch directions here. And again, just see how big of a circle you can make. If you have a good range of motion, good control, see if you can really stretch that leg all the way out to its fullest extent before pulling it back in. And if you're not there, that's fine. Just do whatever circles you can. And then we're going to bring the foot to the earth. Left leg is just going to open up, knee comes towards the earth. So we're just in this sort of half butterfly stretch. You should feel this along the inner thigh, into the hip flexor here a little bit, maybe into those groin muscles. And if you're not able to fully get the leg resting on the earth, bring in a pillow or a block, bolster or something to just give you a little support. Or I also just like to make a fist and rest that fist under the thigh. So find whatever you can here with this hip opener. And then when you feel comfortable there, we're going to stretch the right leg out long. And I want you to imagine your tree pose here. Your left foot is on your right inner thigh. And if that doesn't work, if that's too much of a stretch, slide that down so your left foot is now against your inner calf. All right, so that maybe is more comfortable for you. If that's still a little much, slide it down a little further and see if you can just get it at the ankle. So we're trying to find a hip opening here. And again, you can always bring in the support, bolster, pillow, block, whatever you got. And from here, we're going to inhale, lift the arms up overhead, big reach towards this, towards the top of the head, and then flatten your right foot. You're going to push your heel into the earth as if you were standing. So pretend that your right foot is supporting you on the earth. Get a little engagement. Maybe the glutes turn on. And then we're gonna exhale, we're gonna lift the thigh back up so we come with both knees bent back to the mat. Good. Get your back nice and flat here. If you need to kind of wiggle out the hips, give a little shake. And then we're gonna switch sides, bringing the right knee towards the chest. Again, find the support you need with your hand, if that's what you need. Start small, test your circle. Start one direction, we'll go clockwise first. Drawing a circle with the knee. Maybe seeing how big of a range of motion you can make. Again, engage your core. This is going to help you. Once you've gone a few directions one way, switch that circle. If your hip flexors, your thigh, your quads getting a little tired, that's okay. See what you can do. Make your motion controlled. If this is jerky and feels difficult, then make that motion smaller. It doesn't have to be any specific size. All right, bring your foot back to the earth, and then we're gonna open up that right hip, letting the knee drop down. Again, finding a little support if you need it here. Take a few deep breaths and feel that right hip opening, stretching along the inner thigh into the hips. And just relax those hip muscles. Notice if you're tensing your low back or your hips at all, and just try to release. And then once you've found a good place there, we're gonna stretch the left leg long, reaching it out to its fullest extent and finding our reclined tree pose. Again, make adjustments as needed, and then inhale, lift the arms all the way up overhead. Deep breath, engage your left foot as if you were standing on the earth. Maybe turn those glutes on. Good, exhale, relax the arms. We'll take another moment here. Good, we're going to lift that right leg up again, bring both knees into chest here, and we can do a little circling with the knees. If that put a little tension into the low back, then it can be really nice counter movement here to just circle the knees and rock the hips, massaging the lumbar and the kidney area. From here, we're going to start bringing a little rocking motion into this. Now, if this is not going to work for you, then I encourage you to find a more gentle way to get to an upright seat. Otherwise, we're going to start with the breath, and we're going to just try to start a little rocking for the spine. Now, it's good. It's nice to start small. And you can really start building a little momentum, exploring the spine, exploring how the abdominal walls turn on to help you get up here. And then while you're rocking, see if you can balance in a little balancing sort of boat pose. We're gonna rock and roll. See if we can hit that boat pose. And then we're going to come into a full boat pose here. So we're gonna keep those legs lifted. Now again, if this doesn't quite work for you, come into something a little more gentle. You can support yourself with the hands, and you can just try to lift the toes, right? Really engaging the abdominal wall here. Otherwise, come into your full boat pose. You can have a little support on the thighs, that's okay. Really turn on the abdomen here, engage. You should be able to release the hands and make sure they're not doing a whole lot of the work. Now, it can be helpful when you're first learning the pose, definitely support yourself, but test yourself also. And see if you can release, coming into a full unsupported boat, really turning on the abdominal walls, and then slow and steady, we're gonna release the feet back to the earth, get them nice and planted. We want them to be about hip width apart here. And we're just gonna keep a gentle bend in the knee. Now you can be wherever you want. As you see this motion, adjust yourself as you need. Reach the arms out in front and sort of imagine yourself as a diver, a swimmer. We're gonna reach the right arm back down behind us and up and over into a big circle. We're gonna reach towards the opposite inner ankle. See if we can tap that ankle, slide the hand down, and then the other arm is gonna repeat, sweeping back behind, getting a full range of motion through the shoulder, reaching all the way to the opposite side. Now try to keep your feet planted. Notice if there's an inclination to roll out or roll in, getting those knees either bowed or sort of coming in on each other. And try to get those feet flat. Now adjust yourself again as needed. And just find that full range of motion. Imagine you're swimming here through water. The water is slowing your movements. You can only go so fast because of the pressure of its weight on you. And if you find a spot in the shoulder that feels a little crunchy or grindy, maybe just give it a little love, give it a little extra attention, and then continue your movement. Good. From here, we're going to just come into a comfortable upright seated position and just get a little movement around the neck and shoulders. We're going to first align the spine, getting our head, heart, and hips centered, stacking the vertebrae, turning on the abdominal walls here to really support us in this seated position. And then I want you to just start making small circles in the air with the nose. I want you to imagine a spiral. And so each circle that comes next is bigger than the last. And you're going to just slowly start exploring the range of motion you have throughout the neck. And I want you to keep this motion slow and controlled, as if you were drawing a steady line in the sand. And no crunching here through the neck. You're really using the muscles to guide and engage this motion. And then we're going to reverse that circle. Once you feel like you've got to the biggest circumference you can, I want you to reverse your circle. And now we're going big circles, back to small circles. And eventually you'll find stillness here as you can no longer make your circles any smaller. Bring the neck in line. And in this posture, this uprighted seated position, I invite you to open your arms wide, big circle as we reach up to the sky. And bringing those hands down through heart center here. A very devotional posture here. Reverence posture. And I invite you to take a moment and set an intention for the rest of your practice, maybe for the rest of your Pisces season. And I want you to send that energy for this practice into something like, let's be dreamers, big idealistic dreamers here, and think about where you want to send some extra energy here this Pisces season. Or think about where you could benefit from being more idealistic, more of a dreamer.
And take this into your practice in whatever way you think benefits you this season, or even just this day, or this moment. And once you've sealed your intention, we're going to go ahead and move slowly and reverently to a tabletop position. Again, treating the body with a lot of awareness here, moving as if we are moving through a liquid. Slow and steady, controlled. And we're going to move through some cat-cow. Classic cat-cow, if that's what works for you. Drop the belly, lift the chin. If you're feeling like you want more of a side-to-side hip swivel action, go ahead and take that. My favorite sort of hybrid motion here, you may know if you know me, is the organ grinder, which is a circular movement of the abdomen and a counter-circular movement of the head. Meaning, as we move the abdomen up, the head goes down. Imagine like a crank wheel, right? If that doesn't make sense to you, you're not really following, just do whatever kind of movement that feels good for you along the spine. Good. Once you've had a little movement that way, I want you to stretch out your left leg nice and long, curl the toes under, and we're going to feel the calf and hamstring getting a nice stretch here. Push back with the hands, turn on the abdomen here, give a little extra to that stretch. And then we're going to swing that left leg to the right side of the mat. So I'm swinging it so that it's over across my body, and I can look over my right shoulder and I can see my foot back there. This gives you a nice stretch along the left hip, maybe side body, IT band maybe even for you. I do want you to keep yourself supported here. Notice that when I do this, I'm not dropping and slumping the hips. I'm trying really hard to not move the hips so they're stable. So only go as far as you can to keep your hips stable. And then we're going to swing that left leg out. Now it's in line with the body. So it's in line with my knee, toes point forward here. And we're going to do a little cat-cow to open up the hips, the inner thigh. If you don't do this action, it might feel really intense for you. Dropping the belly, lifting the chin. You should feel a good stretch on the inner thigh. And then we'll counter that here with a little rounding cat. Good. Move through a few of these on your own. And then we're going to slide that left leg back in to our neutral tabletop position. Go ahead if you like here, take a couple normal cat-cows or maybe a little hip swivels if you need that. And then we're going to reach that right leg long, curl the toes under, stretch the calf, the hamstring, give a little push. Then we're going to swing the right leg towards the left side. Now I can look over my left shoulder and see my right foot. Getting a nice stretch through the side body, really keeping my hips in line. Look down and see if your knee is still under your hip. That's your indicator if you're going too far. And then we're going to swing that right leg wide so it's in line with the knee. Get that foot flat, toes point forward. Then we'll do a few rounds of cat-cow here.
swing the right leg back in, coming to our neutral tabletop. And then from here, we're gonna lift right up into our first down dog. Remember your down dog position here. We want to have the knees slightly bent here. The heels are gonna be lifted. And we're gonna really try to stay firm through the lats, which are your muscles right under your shoulder blades and down the sides. And to do that, we want to point the elbows behind you, not locking out any joints here. So gentle bend in the knees, gentle unlocking of the elbows here. Your whole hand is firmly flat to push you up and hold you here, just like your feet do when you're standing. Drop the head, relax the shoulders. Maybe pedal out the ankles, the feet here a little bit, lifting one heel and then the other. And then we're going to take a slow walk to the top of the mat here, crisscrossing the feet as we go. When we get to the top of our mat, we're going to halfway lift. I really like a low halfway lift where my fingertips are just on the mat and I have bent my knees enough to flatten my back here. If you want a little higher of a lift, please feel free to come up to the shins or even to the thighs, but find what feels good. Take a deep breath, lift to your halfway lift, and then we're going to exhale, drape down, bend the knees. I want you to think ragdoll here or towel draped over a rod. And we're really just going to relax into this fold. Exhale deeply. And then we're going to push a little with the feet back and forth and create this kind of swaying motion here through the torso. This is such a good releasing position. It can feel so good on the low back. And then we're going to relax that movement. Go ahead and come back to center. Feet are hip width or more closer if that's what you like. Bend the knees here. We're going to really turn on the glutes. We're going to curl up, unfurl here. Head and shoulders come up last. And come into your mountain pose. Feet are firmly pressed here. All four corners of the feet are firmly to the earth, to the mat. And relax the shoulders, relax the arms and hands. Check your alignment, head, heart, and hips here. Good, we're gonna inhale, root to rise, bend the knees, hands to the sky. Stretch out here. I want you to feel your abdomen growing long and lengthening through the front body. And then we're going to exhale, fold it down, back the way we came. Halfway lift. Exhale to release here. We're going to step it back. And this is our first vinyasa. If you're keeping it easy and gentle or you're new to practice, bend the knees and you're going to lower all the way down to the earth. Otherwise, you can do that on your toes like a normal push-up or plank. And then we're going to lift into our little cobra, coming up gently here. I really want you to engage your core muscles and make sure your core muscles are lifting you and that you could lift your arms should you desire. And that your back is not just crunching you through this one, okay? Exhale, release. Push yourself up to your down dog. Reset that position. Remember it from last time. Good. From here, we're going to lift the right leg high to the sky. All right, I want you to bend the knee, and we're going to open the hip by pointing the knee out to the right side. Take a look here. We're still in that down dog position. We're still supported through the hands and the leg. And then we're going to sweep it forward, stepping so that we can come into warrior two. Now to do this, I want you to have your feet in alignment with each other. So that means Your heel in the front is aligned with your arch in the rear, and then we're lifting to our warrior two. Make this more of a challenge by spreading those legs wider. Make this less of a challenge by bringing them in. Wherever you are, I want you to be firm through the front ball of the foot here. That big toe is really holding balance. The rear leg is not locked out, and we are really pushing through the outer edge of that foot. Reach the arms out here. Feel your glutes turning on. Feel the thighs really working. Holding this position, we're going to reverse our arms, reaching right hand to the sky, left hand to the earth. Beautiful. From here, I want you to kick off with your back leg, and we're going to try to come up into a one-leg standing position. We're going to practice this a couple times, so if you don't get it just now, that's all good. But see if you can. If you can come into one leg balance, even if you can't do it in one solid movement, join me here for just a little balance on one leg. We can bring the arms out, find a little fluidity here, and then come back to your mountain pose standing. Good. From here, root to rise, lift the arms high to the sky. Exhale, fold it down. Halfway lift here. Good. Exhale. Now we're going to take the right leg this time, and we're going to, taking both legs, we're going to step back into our down dog. If you want to sneak in another vinyasa here, if you're really trying to amp it up or bring a little extra heat, please go ahead and do so. Otherwise, we're going to come back to down dog, and we're going to lift the left leg this time. Okay, we're going to bend that knee points out. This opens the hip. We are still in our posture, so if you've lost the hands in the footing here, realign yourself. And then we're going to step it forward. Line up the feet for that warrior two position, and we're going to lift it up to warrior two. Remember your footing here, strong inner thighs, strong glutes here, not locking out any joints. Reaching out here, shoulders relax. Reverse your warrior, reaching left arm to the sky, right arm to the earth. And then as you come out of that warrior reverse, I want you to see if you can push from your rear foot, coming into a one-leg balance. Again, if you don't make it in one smooth movement, practice. Find your balance either way. Come into one-leg balance. And then return to mountain. From here, I want you to root to rise, lift to the sky, stretching through the abdomen. And exhale, fold it down. Halfway lift and release. We're stepping it back for that vinyasa. Again, you can be on the knees or you can be on the feet here, coming all the way down. Or you can be doing your chaturanga. Push up here, back to down dog. Good. Take a few breaths in your down dog. And then we're going to do a crisscross walk, or another way that you would like to travel to the top of your mat here, seeing how you can embody fluidity in your movements today. Halfway lift and release. Inhale, root to rise. Come all the way up, reach high. Keep reaching high, and then we're going to exhale right into a chair pose. Bend the knees, shift the hips back like you're going to sit down, but make sure you can look down and still see your toes. So that means you're not with your knees really far forward, you're really shifting more back like this. See how upright you can keep your spine as you do this. Lift those arms to the sky. Balance your weight so you're not falling backwards. Good, beautiful. Inhale, come all the way up. Lift your right leg up with you this time. Coming into your one leg balance position. And then with one hand on the knee for some stability. We're gonna open the hip, so I'll turn so you can see me. We're here, and then we're opening the hip here, and we have a little balance here with the hands. All right, so we're gonna hold that position for just a moment. See how wide we can swing that hip, and then we're gonna shift it back and step into our warrior two. You got it. Check your footing, check your posture, reach those arms out into opposite directions here, reverse your warrior. And then we're adding an extended side angle. Left arm comes down, it's resting on the thigh, but it is not weight bearing. So you could even just relax it. Reach right arm to the sky. Good, relax here. We're gonna bring the arms back to the earth, and then we're gonna step forward. So we're back in our forward fold. Halfway lift here, and then release. Bend the knees, root to rise, reach to the sky. Exhale, take a moment to reaffirm your intention here. Good, root to rise again, reach high. Exhale, chair pose. Take a deep breath, lift the arms. Good, exhale, rise up. This time we're lifting left leg. See if you can go ahead and grab onto that knee, open up the hip, find a little one leg, hip opening balance. Good, exhale, step back, warrior two. In your warrior, reverse those arms. Exhale, extended side angle. From here, we're going to come all the way down to the hands on the earth. We're stepping it back this time for a down dog. And that gets us to transition right into our vinyasa. So go ahead and take your vinyasa. You can always skip it if you're getting tired. Amp it up if you're wanting more. Good. Come to down dog here with me for a few breaths. And now we're going to slow walk to the top. Halfway lift, release it down. Root to rise, come all the way up, reach to the sky. All right, this is it. This is what we've been working for. We're going to put it all together. Take a moment here, reaffirm your intention for your practice, Pisces season. And then we're going to root to rise, arms to the sky. Exhale, chair pose. Good. Inhale, right leg lifts up with us as we rise. We're grabbing onto this right knee and we're coming to our tree pose. So I'm going to turn so you can see. We're here and then we come into tree pose. See if you can get the foot on that inner thigh. Now if that doesn't work for you, see if you can come down to the calf. If that still doesn't work for you, then you can place your foot on the earth, just kind of kickstanding against the heel. Now I want everyone to have an opportunity to explore this tree pose. And when you're here, I want you to really try to engage into the glutes here. They're kind of really helping to hold you up. We're also engaging through the core. Fix your gaze onto one thing. Find some center, find some balance. Good. Once you've found your tree pose, extra challenge if you're feeling up for it, reach your right arm, left arm, oh no, reach your left arm up and we're going to do a little tree sway here. This can be a little challenging if you don't do tree very often, but we're going to see if we can sway a little with the arms. Imagining as if we are underwater, a plant perhaps. And then we're going to release from that tree pose nice and easy. Try a
Shake out those heels if you need to. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, fold it down. Halfway lift. And release. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, lift that left leg, left leg up. And again, we're coming into our tree pose here, so we're going to see if we can come right on into that. Good. Once you found your posture in tree, check your glutes, check your abdomen engagement here. That will help you. And then we can sway a little to the left this time with the arms. Trying to keep your balance despite the elements around you. So I encourage you again to find the posture that works for you. If you fall out of your pose, that's fine. Just try it again. Or work back towards it. Work up to it, I mean. All right, release that tree pose when you feel like you've had a good opportunity to explore each side equally. And then we're coming back to the top of our mat. We're going to reach up high, root to rise, and exhale down. Halfway lift and release. Good. Step it back for a vinyasa here. This will be our last one. And then we'll do down dog from here. Let's all meet there. Take a few breaths. And then we're going to reach the right leg high to the sky. Just like before, we're opening up through that hip, three-legged dog. This time, we're going to reach that right leg forward and come into a pigeon, a half pigeon here. So you are working to get your right shin parallel to the top of the mat. So your lower leg parallel. So your foot sticks out towards your left side here. We're going to get a little engagement through that foot. Instead of pointing the toe, we're just going to activate a little here by pressing through the heel. And then take a look behind you, see what this rear leg is doing, see if you can get it in line with the hip. So if it's sticking out one way or the other, just kind of pull it in line. That'll get you a good hip flexor stretch. Now if you're really tight and you're struggling here, do the very best you can. Just lean down to the elbows if that feels better for you. Stay upright on the hands, whatever works. Now, if you think this feels good and great and dandy and you want to amp it up a little bit, as I often really like to do in this pose, we can take a little mermaid edition, which means we're going to bend the rear knee. So see if you can do that first. Then, if you can, see if you can reach back in an upright posture to grab onto the foot. Now, if you can't do this, you can, of course, bring a strap into the mix and you can support yourself there. Or you could just prop your foot up under a block or get a little creative with how you could lift your leg and also have a little support. So you have some options there. And if you've come into your mermaid pose with me, we're going to release the leg slow and steady. And then everybody, I want you to roll onto your right hip, onto that glute, so you can swing that left leg up forward. We're going to get this right foot into the inner thigh here, and reach the arms high up for a one-leg seated forward fold, reaching towards that extended leg. When you're folding here, really relax the shoulders and the neck. Tuck the tailbone a little. Bend the knee if you need to. See if you can stretch through the back and the hips here a little. And then we're going to walk it upright, and we're going to do a little reverse of that, taking the right arm all the way up and over, planting it behind the tailbone. And then I lift so that I'm coming up on my right knee and on the inner edge of my left foot. And then I reach towards the sky.
Come back out of that nice and easy here. Try to be controlled with your movements. And then we're going to shift it back to a down dog so we can re-enter from the same position. The left leg comes high to the sky. Open up the hip here, three-legged dog. And then we're going to reach forward here, left leg comes down. We're going to get into our pigeon on the other side. Now, get into your posture as best you can. You, of course, make those manual adjustments of your legs when necessary. Take a moment here, find whatever version of pigeon feels good for you. You can be up here with me. You could be down on your elbows. And then if you're into it, you can test out that mermaid pose on the other leg. See if you can bend the knee first, then see if you can grab on. Now, if this really kills your quad and your hip flexor, just skip it. Please don't hurt yourself overstretching the muscles. Only do this if it's comfortable and available to your body. And you can check that by also making sure you can breathe throughout the entire posture. If you're struggling to breathe, it's likely too much for you. Good, we're going to release from that mermaid pose. Again, rolling onto the left hip this time so we can swing the right leg forward. Coming into our one leg forward fold, the foot is right here tucked into the thigh. Reach up to the sky. And then exhale, we're going to fold it down, relaxing the shoulders and neck. I like to, in this kind of fold, I like to reach my left hand or with my one hand to the opposite side of the foot. So my left hand comes to the outer shin or the outer ankle. And I think that gives a nice stretch to the side body. All right, we're going to lift up out of that and we're going to do a little reverse here. Left arm comes down behind and then we're going to lift onto the knee and onto the foot for a little reverse side body stretch. And exhale, we'll come down. From here, I want you to get ready for a boat pose again. So we're going to bend the knees and we're going to shift back on the hips here, back onto the tailbone, and come into our boat pose. So find your balance first and then test your strength with the arms. Good. Now from here, we're going to make sure we have plenty of space. We're going to just relax and roll back from our boat onto our mat so that we're on our back again. Now, if you know those kinds of rocking and rolling sensations don't work well for you, then please skip that and come down however you like. We're going to keep both knees bent into the chest. We're going to open up the arms into a T. We're going to do a little twist for the spine. Both legs come to the left, and we're just going to relax the hips, relax the shoulders, take a nice deep breath. Good, engage the core, roll back to center here. And then exhale to the right this time, taking a twist for the other side. Relax the shoulders and the hips here. Good, and then we're going to come back to center. Get the feet flat onto the floor, and I want you to reach your hands towards your feet. I want you to get your heels to be about 1 inch away from your fingertips, and we're going to set up for a few bridges. So you're going to want that good firm foot position here. Hands are going to be flat to the earth, and then we're going to start rocking the hips a little bit here. I want you to just rock and roll the hips. Feel the tailbone rocking and rolling from front to back. And then we're gonna inhale, we're gonna lift the hips first, okay? They lift the legs, kind of come to help them straighten them out, turn those glutes on. Shoulders are down. Please don't turn your neck here, just keep your gaze to the sky. And your shoulders and hands are firmly pressed down. Squeeze your glutes, good, and then exhale, roll controlled from the top of the spine down towards the tailbone to the earth. We're going to do a few more bridges just like that. Inhale, lift to the sky, squeeze and engage those glutes. Feel the hip flexors in the front of the quads stretching. Good, exhale, slowly roll it down from top to tail. And inhale, bridge. And exhale, roll it down. Good. We're going to do 2 more just like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. And again, inhale, lift. And exhale, down. Good. From here, we're going to exhale all the way, bring knees to chest. Do a little circular motion here, a little rocking and rolling if that feels good on the low back. And then we're going to do a little waterfall movement here from waterfall into a little ball, just like before. One more waterfall here, really stretch through the back of the legs. And then exhale, pull everything in, squeeze it all in, use the abdomens, the abdominals. And then exhale, come into Savasana. Go ahead and stretch everything out, take up some space. Relax the jaw and the shoulders and neck. Relax the tongue and unclench the teeth. Snuggle the shoulders here, gently tuck the chin, relax the arms. Relax the abdomen here, the hips, the glutes. And relax the thighs, the legs, the feet. Relax the mind, and if you have active thoughts, just put them aside for now. And if they're important to you, you can deal with them later. Feel your hands. Notice what's going on in your feet. Feel them and notice. And of course, feel free to stay in Savasana as long as you like. We're going to guide out now for practice. So begin moving your fingers and toes here. A little wiggling, maybe a little circles through the ankles and the wrists. Good. Roll the limbs a little across the earth. Maybe a full body stretch if you like that. And exhale, release. We'll go ahead and roll to one side or find whatever way you'd like to exit your practice here, coming into, we'll come into a fetal posture here for a moment. This is a nice reverent way to exit our practice and re-enter sort of the ordinary reality. Hi, buddy. So we'll have one hand on the earth, and you're just supporting us and receiving what we are giving back to it. And then we'll push up into a seated position.
Go ahead and get comfortable in an upright position here. Spine is long and straight. And we're going to close out our practice with one chant of Om, and we'll do that here, reaching the arms all the way up overhead. I like to think about cultivating the energy that I've created and pulling it into center here as I bring hands to heart. We'll take one deep breath, and with the exhale, we'll chant Om. Inhale here. Thank you for joining me again in this Pisces season yoga practice. I hope that it finds you well, and I hope that it ignites that creative dreamer side of yourself. Enjoy.